Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry for being late, but those fur babies of mine, they're just like little children. And at the very last minute, they need me. My windows and my doors are open because it's a beautiful day in South Carolina. So you may hear some background noise. If it becomes too much, let me know. I'll close my window. It's fine. But I went ahead and I took the fur babies, well, took him out, took Fat Daddy out, and fed them. So hopefully there won't be any other interruptions besides my package that's supposed to be coming from the store. But, anyways, hey, everybody, it is Friday the 13th, another Friday the 13th, and there's an important case that we need to talk about. Now, I've told y'all when I started my journey in the crime community, I wanted to primarily focus on our Black and brown people because not enough people are focused. There aren't enough voices for our people. I wanted to be one of those voices. So today, those it's one of those cases, and I do intermittently go between the news. Like I will talk about the war or Nancy Guthrie, but I always come back to this because this is what is most important to me. Oh shoot, I forgot to start this rolling. I'm coming, guys. And hey to everyone here. Hey Jasmine. Hey Sagittarius Queen. Hey Sparkle. Hey Judy, my muffin. My muffin is present. Let's see who else is here. Hey Barn Dog. Okay. Oh, Judy, thank you so much. Thank you so much for always pouring into me. I love me some you. Um, Now what you see scrolling here, of course, y'all know in my form and fashion of digging, I'm gonna, that's just me. When it comes to cases, I'm gonna dig. So what you're seeing scrolling is actually the girl's Facebook page, Adrian Reid, and you could see the hate. You could see the people, you know, they have things to say. And who blames them? No one can blame them. But tonight we need to talk about a case that many people feared would end in tragedy. I knew it was going to end the way it did. A little girl named Genesis Reid. For weeks, people were asking one simple question: where is Genesis? And I've been saying from day one that this case is very reminiscent of the Casey Anthony case. It just reminded me so much about Casey Anthony and how her daughter was gone. And she said the nanny, Zanny, the nanny, had her. And come to find out, she's right there, not far from the house, dead in a plastic bag. So this case reminds me so much of the Casey Anthony case. Um, but as of when I first wrote this report, we already had the answer. We already knew that she was no longer with us. And the mother, Genesis Reid, because the mother of Genesis Reid is now facing capital murder charges. And sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. This is an important case, so I'm already at the point of this got to be good. I gotta do the damn thing for little Genesis. And she had the middle name Nova, and everybody knows I love the name Nova. I have been trying to get those churn of mine to name one of the grandbabies Nova, but no such luck. hmm Now we're going to be looking at a lot of things tonight. We're going to go back to when this first happened. We're going to look at some of the neighbors, what they had to say. We're going to look at her loudmouth, quote unquote, bestie in that get trifling trick. We're going to look at a lot of things. And I want y'all to engage with me. I want to hear what you all have to say. So comments, questions, definitely put them in the chat. Right now, authorities are preparing to search a massive landfill for what they believe could be the remains of the missing toddler. Now let that sink in for a moment. A landfill. She threw her baby away. Thousands of tons of trash being searched because investigators believe a child may have been discarded there. So tonight we're going to break down the timeline of Genesis Reid case, what investigators say led to the capital murder charges, how landfill searches actually work, and what could happen next in this investigation. Because this story is still developing. And the truth behind what happened to Genesis Reid is something the public deserves to understand. So let's get into it. And I think I might just, yeah, hold on. Let me close my window because it's just a lot of activity going on out here. And not only am I going to be triggered, so will my dog. Let's see. Shop is about to activate. Give me a minute. Leave it. It's no. It's up. You can't play with nothing that's wrong. Shop. It's okay. Jesus. I'm coming, guys. Hopefully no more interruptions, okay? Woo. These kids. Let's see. Genesis Reid, and you see her scrolling on the screen in front of you, was a young toddler from Coffee County, Alabama. Family members and members of the community describe her as a sweet child who loved to smile and play. And photos show a happy little girl, the kind of picture that becomes even more heartbreaking once you understand what investigators now believe may have happened. Her disappearance quickly triggered concern, but what began as a missing child case soon started raising serious red flags. Let's walk through the timeline of events that led investigators to where we are today. And then we're going to start looking at video clips. Also, those of you on the vertical, if you want to sound off on this case, please follow the pin link to the bigger live where you can hit the StreamYard. He sees another dog, so he's crying right now. Sorry about that, y'all. My God. Let me start over. Let's walk through the timeline of events that led investigators to where we are today. And I wrote all this out, guys. At some point, Genesis Reid was reported missing. Whenever a child is reported missing, investigators immediately begin trying to establish the last confirmed timeline. They want to know when was the last time anyone saw the child, who was the child with at that moment, who reported the baby missing. Hold on, let me restart this because I don't want it to jump into this video yet. Okay. And whether the story being told actually makes sense. As detectives began gathering information in the case, investigators reportedly began noticing inconsistencies. Timelines didn't match up, details changed, and investigators began to suspect that this might not be a missing child situation. Instead, they began investigating the possibility that something much more serious had happened. Eventually, investigators say they gathered enough evidence to escalate the case dramatically. All right. Now, let's pull up a video that I put together for you guys where you can see what has been taking place prior, like 3 weeks ago. You're going to hear the people, you're going to see Genesis' father, and then I'm going to come back and, add more commentary. We're going to walk this thing through, okay? Everything is alleged, fair use, and trigger warning. If you are easily triggered, I suggest you click off now. This case is very triggering. It really is. It breaks my heart. But she's a beautiful little girl that didn't ask for this.
Dog aided the search for 2-year-old Genesis Reid this morning. That comes as we uncover new information about the girl's jailed mother. News 4's Jacqueline Lambert is in Enterprise with the latest developments in the search for Genesis. Jacqueline?
We saw a cadaver dog go into a wooded area around the home where Genesis lived with her mother. Of course, those dogs are trained for specific scents, including those of human remains. Police still hold out hope that they will find the toddler whose mother, Adrienne Reid, claims disappeared from their home early Monday. Investigators believe she is lying and have charged her with false reporting to law enforcement. They theorize that whatever happened to Genesis occurred before Monday. This isn't the first time Adrienne has gotten in trouble with the law. 9 years ago, she pled guilty to using a sharp object to cut her mother multiple times. We're told she will appear virtually before a judge sometime today. At that time, that judge will set bond, but prosecutors are aiming for a high bail because they suspect that Adrienne Reid could eventually become a murder suspect. Live in Enterprise, Jacqueline Lambert, your hometown news leader.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Enterprise police will provide their next public update.
We got the mama down at the police station who is not cooperating with the police. First, she took them to Ozark and said the baby was at this house, and the people didn't even know who she was. Now she just talking about she ain't want to talk about it. She won't talk to him. Never have food. She apparently she texted her, the baby daddy been trying to get the baby. She been coming up with all kinds of excuses. He last Christmas, he tried to get a New Year's. She wouldn't let him, so we told her to at least FaceTime her. She wouldn't right there. So this is the backstory. She just reported the baby missing. Come to find out, the baby been missing now almost within the last 30 days. She burned the bed on January 23rd.
She AI, y'all.
And
she ain't a real person. We lie about everything.
And she done bleached up the house. All they smell is bleach, but people had been smelling the foul smell coming from the house. So she been on the baby. She reported the baby missing, but they sent a text out. Her grandma sent a text out to the daddy, said he was finna file a missing report that she ain't seen the baby since February the 4th. The landlord said that she usually had a baby with her when she come pick up a utility check. Said the last time she went to pick up a utility check was on January 7th, and this time when she came to pick it up this month, she didn't have the baby with her.
Y'all, what the? I know that right, Greg.
She didn't do no wrong. She didn't say no wrong.
Guys, emotions are flying high right now in Enterprise, Alabama, as you can imagine, as there is a missing child. A little girl who is either 2 or 3 years old, I've heard both ages, named Genesis Reid is missing. As I said in a previous video, her mother claimed that she woke up this morning and that her little girl was missing and that the door was wide open to their apartment. This was allegedly at around 3 a.m. when she realized her child was not there. I am not buying that story, though. Not at all. The mother is pictured here, and her story is changing a whole lot. She first said that her child was missing from the bed, then she changed it and said it was from the couch. They live in apartments on Apache Drive. According to reports, the FBI is now on the scene as well to assist in the search for Genesis, and they reportedly got there at around 3 p.m. this afternoon. There is a ton of speculation floating around on social media right now, as you can imagine, and I normally don't like to say things unless they're confirmed, but I'm going to tell you what I have heard, as I've heard it from multiple sources, people who are allegedly witnesses. I'm going to tell you, I have heard that the mother was recently seen burning things in the woods near the apartments, specifically a mattress, allegedly. Again, I can't confirm that, but that is what some people are saying. Now, the man that you just saw in that video who was kind of going off on people, that is the girl's dad. And I believe the woman that was kind of talking along with him or yelling, I believe that's his girlfriend. I'm hearing they drove like 3.5 hours away today to get here when he found out his child was missing. He had just, right before this video you just saw, he had just gone off on police. He's stressed to the max. He feels like the police aren't giving him enough info or doing enough, I guess. That's what he was saying to them. But I'll tell you, Enterprise Police Department is great. I'm sure they're doing what they can. The FBI is now here, so I'm sure they're working as hard as they can. It's just a chaotic scene at that apartment complex right now. Now, for what I got.
Now, I'm showing you all this stuff because I'm just giving you the backstory before we dive into the current press conference. And then this baby just had a birthday. So happy heavenly birthday, Genesis.
The mom has been detained for questioning. And from what I am hearing, she is not saying much. She's kind of refusing to talk. Now, neighbors are saying they have not seen this child since early January, which was strange because they used to see her out and about all along, or a good bit. I'm also hearing that one man told news outlets he saw the child's mom this past Saturday. Realized the little girl wasn't with her, said, "Where's your little girl?" The mom allegedly said, "I don't know," kind of shrugged and then walked off. I'm also hearing that the mom might have been exhibiting some kind of strange behavior in the days and weeks leading up to Genesis disappearing. She was allegedly thinking people were after her and whatnot. Seemed like mental issues. One man told people that she told him that people were breaking into her apartment and peeing in her shampoo. Police are now just trying to get a for sure timeline as to when the little girl went missing, which goes to show me they don't 100% believe either that she just up and disappeared and vanished this morning. This is just not good. I'm trying to have faith that this baby girl is alive, but I'm not feeling good at all about the situation. I will give you more updates as they become available in this case, so make sure to follow and subscribe on YouTube for more updates.
Right, Regina. They should. She could. Exactly, Harley. It's plenty out here that want a baby. They can't have babies. I'm trying, these comments coming in so quick. I'm trying to catch them all. And Rosa, it's crazy. It is. That's right. And they have ended the search. Everybody gone home. They all of the FBI, the marshals and stuff, they ended for tonight, but they did say it'll continue tomorrow. But if you're just tuning in, they did get rug out the house with blood. I seen for myself, put it in the truck. They put the father to the side close to where we was. They told him that blood was seen on the wall. Blood was on the wall. They all got different daddy lists. And the daddy did say, he said, "Is something going on?" He said, "Because that ain't the Adrian he know." He said, "So something going on," and he spazzed out. He said, "Something going on." He said, "He knows somebody fucking knows something about it. He spazzed out, like he spazzed out so bad that the law started putting they motherfucking hands on they gun. And like he told that police, hell, you would do the same thing. It was your child, and and get what he couldn't say nothing, but I wouldn't say that I wouldn't. Yeah, Stacy, Mama knows something. She knows something, especially you getting all defensive because somebody said you need to be questioned, and then you sat there and said out your mouth. You sat there and said out your mouth that you gonna defend your daughter at any cost. Baby, it don't look like it wasn't nothing. It ain't no bed or nothing in the apartment units. No bed in the apartment. And that's what we said too, Justin. So, vendor plug. As far as cameras, need I remind y'all, this is government. These apartments they stay in government. The landlord, when they went to ask, well, the law went to ask for camera. The landlord said, "Well, it's 16 cameras, but only 5 of them out here work." I mean, ain't nobody out there on the scene live no more if that's what you're looking for, because they done cleared it out. They cleared everything out. That's why I left, because they cleared everything out. That's why I left. Whoever this is saying that about the live. That's why I left. No, and nobody at all is out there live. It's all they cleared it out. They cleared it out. The law ain't out there no more than nothing. They done took down the yellow tape. Nobody out there. You're welcome, Miss Brenda. Exactly. Exactly, Ashton. Cause who? I don't know the grandma name. Once I know, I'll let that be known too. I don't know her name for sure, but I know she live in Dothan, Alabama. She stay about 30 minutes away from here. I don't know the daddy last name, but the daddy first name is Reggie. And like I said, he stay in Pensacola. Yes, they all have different
Yes,
fathers.
Stacy.
His dang nose ring. Let me change it. Raven, the mama, the police still have the mama down for questioning. Yes, everything the house was smelling straight like bleach. It's very crazy that there's no camera out there, especially with it being part of government housing. Why is there 16 cameras and only 5 working? No, they did not find a leg. That was a little child when we was out there live when they was bringing the sheets out from the ditch. There was a little child that said something that she said, "Is that a leg?" She just seen the police kind of like drop the sheet off. That was but it wasn't no leg. No leg was found, y'all. No leg was found. Yes, Chantel, that is correct. And as of right now, we thinking she reacting what she did to that baby, Chantel. But like I said, that's just what's in our mind. We don't know for sure. We don't know for sure. Right, Keisha. You know how that go, good.
My bad, guys. I had to leave out and come back because my shit froze on me. Everything froze up on my side. But let's continue.
Nobody. Well, Celeste, the thing about that now, I don't know how young her other daughter was or anything when the biological dad got her. So she might not even know, what takes place in the household. So I don't know, the situation for sure as far as her age she was when they got her. What's going on? It's a missing child, 2-year-old missing child. A baby doll. Yeah. What you said is correct, Miranda.
I'm really trying not to be too into it. She pointing. Who the hell she pointing at?
Yes, Miss Hummingbird.
She moved. Who is he? Who that man? That's the baby dad.
So what they did was some weeks back arrest her for a false police report because they did not have enough evidence to charge her with murder. But those charges have been upgraded to that and capital murder at that. So yeah, they had to find a way to hold her and keep her there. Officers or detectives will often do that. They will hold you on a lesser charge until they can bring full charges on you.
Daddy fussing with her. It done got ugly in there. And she saw him coming. She ran over here. She made it. You better hold him. That's the baby daddy, y'all. He's tight. He's upset. He fussing with them.
She don't fight. Yes, she probably got some weaknesses, but I'm saying. But that's why I'm asking you. That's why I'm asking you, though, because y'all know what know. And I need to know.
Coming down. He be grabbing that damn man. I said, get him. Hey, man.
Go that thing with none of that. I'm tired of it. I'm tired. Y'all sitting around getting me to run around like all that.
So that is the biological day. And that girl said it would.
We're not going to sit around.
It's gonna get dark here in a couple hours, y'all. You gonna miss all the bags coming at the damn door. You got me over here. I need to be on that side, because that's the side they're gonna come out of. You gotta get between them. But first, you gotta get between them. If you get between them, oh, this is the baby daddy, y'all. You can go to jail. He live in Florida. Oh, he mad. He must have told him she did. He must have told him she did. Yeah, that's the brother right there laughing, doing this stupid. That's her brother. That's right. That's the biological daddy right there. Mm-hmm. That's the little girl's daddy. He done drove 3 hours to get here. And then he said that bullshit.
These are loved ones out here. Like, ain't no way I can't tell them they ain't seen my child the other day.
Oh, I know that. Right. Oh, say that shit. Say that shit. She had a jailhouse talking about something. People to break down. Girl, I'm trying. To break down. Oh,
I think biracial.
But see, they can't arrest him because he emotional right now. Mm-hmm. He letting out his feelings. He know his baby daddy. She doing the stop playing around is what he said. Y'all playing much about my baby. Then what about my child? Oh, the daddy finally got out. How old is the baby? 2 or 3. Really 2. It's going to be 3 and 2. Y'all saying that because they keep announcing on the news. I know, y'all.
Oh, hit the baby doll was bald headed. She was beaten.
Let me pause this. If y'all ever in a situation where you recording, please stop the narration. We want to hear. We wouldn't need you to narrate if y'all would hush. Just be quiet. Okay? Be quiet. Lord have mercy.
The baby doll with the hammer and screaming to the top of her lungs. So we're saying we don't know for sure, but we feel like that's her reacting what she did to the baby. Some kids seen her doing this first through the window. Some kids seen it and they took off running when she looked up at them. It is, Vaughn. Mm-hmm. Yes, Brandon. Oh, yes. Yes, this is the baby from Enterprise, Sherry. This is. Mm-hmm. Oh, the friend and her got into it today about this because she was always there to try to. She said she's noticed she started drinking every day this month or whatever. She had done told the friend that the baby was with the daddy because the daddy was getting and she said every time that daddy give her the baby always come back. And she asked her last week, had she talked to the baby? Because she was finna make her a Valentine basket for her. And she said, she told her now she haven't talked to her. Right, Nikki. You ask me, they don't even need no time. They don't need, you know what they need when I say no time. I don't mean life. I don't mean they need a life to live. Right, LB. And she always used to make excuses when he tried to get the baby. She always used to make up stuff when he tried to get the baby. And he last seen the baby. What they see? Yeah, they said she was always banging and beating in the apartment all the time. Huh? Baby, FBI being a part of things like this. The FBI was out there. Everything was out there. Honestly, everything. Yeah, that's what we was mentioning. Stuff about the dumpster. They need to go check landfills, everything. It's just so sad. Like, shoot. I was literally at home before I went out there and out there crying. Like,
now, Adrian has this quote unquote bestie that decided to insert herself in the middle of this whole thing. very loud, very ratchet, very ghetto, very extra. Once things blew up and she got arrested, though, she started singing a different tune that she wasn't the best friend, that she just knew the girl. Well, she inserted herself and yeah, she got a lot of backlash for it. She got caught on camera saying some unsavory things and it backfired on her. Let's take a look at this friend and all the things she had to say. And also, we're going to watch her get arrested. And the person that catches her arrest is someone that she got into it with, that she had issues with because she got caught on recording saying those unsavory things. Strange how karma works, right? Mm-hmm. Everything is alleged and fair use.
Although Genesis' disappearance was reported Monday morning, some neighbors say they haven't laid eyes on her at all this year.
She like my niece, and I'm really into it. I feel like her mama bring her up there every day with me. Like, I ain't seen that baby since Christmas, but that's my friend, so I would never, go against what she say. I'm thinking like, hey, my friend trying to get her stuff together, and, that's where the baby at. But my biggest concern is getting that baby home.
It's been so. I gotta pause it here. Why do some of y'all new age girls talk like that? Y'all got the oh my God, it's just too much. You're on camera over a missing baby. Ugh. Learn how to interview. Vocal in this case that a lot of the people think she has something to do with it. I don't think she has something to do with it. I think that she just wants to attach herself to a tragedy. You have a lot of people like that. My daughter went through that when her babies passed. People want to surround you in those moments. And it's kind of sick in a way. But these people do exist. So I don't think she has anything to do with the unaliving of Genesis. But since she wants to be a busybody and be in the middle of it, yeah, go ahead and arrest her too. Go ahead and question her. We got to dot all the I's and cross all the T's.
Hold on, though. I lost my baby. I lost my son 10 years ago. Literally. I lost my mind when I lost him. You understand me? Man, I was robbing everybody. Man, I was trying to get somebody to kill me. I couldn't do it myself. Man, I was on powder. I was on fucking pills. I did not give a fuck. I was 18, 19 years old. A little lost ass little girl, bro. I lost my mind. When I had my baby, bro, that shit brought me back to life. When I had my little girl. You get what I'm saying? So I felt as a mama, if she was down there going through it, like, damn, I had to give my baby to her daddy so she can get right. You get what I'm saying? What type of mama want to do that? Like, any mama who can do that, who can acknowledge the fact that I'm fucking up and I'm not on my shit.
So Adrian's friend finds out that her information has been broadcasted everywhere from her big mouth. And she wants to confront the person who did the recording. And this is that situation.
No, we wasn't on your
Yes, wow. So we sitting there saying, oh, she just said she's crack. Oh, she just said this. Oh, she just said this. So we were saying that. You was talking. The people here talking about you powder. You doing crack. All type of shit. We didn't say nothing because that's not our fucking business.
I'll tell you, I don't do no talking, so I ain't gonna keep on arguing.
Yeah, ain't nobody finna.
What else?
We ain't finna. Mama, we not finna fight no crackhead.
So after that, the friend then comes live, and this is what she had to say.
Y'all motherfuckers be so used to these motherfucking hoes who can't admit to nothing what they motherfucking do. To these pussy assholes who is ashamed of anything they did. Bro, hold on. Let me just clear this right here. Me and somebody else was having a whole conversation, bro. Them folk, the girl was literally like down to it. I told you the girl was crazy. And I was like, man, Sue, I don't give a about nobody being no motherfucking crazy. Like, who the am I to judge? Hell, y'all can admit to any I motherfucking did. Y'all folk know this.
So not too long after that, the friend gets pulled over and taken into custody by the authorities there, and the person that she's arguing with actually caught that on camera as well.
Oh, y'all. Okay, so that's Enterprise. Okay, so Coffee County just came.
The sheriff. Nene, can you move my truck right here? Move it over here? Yeah. Thank you. Y'all, those are the same detectives that was out there in Brookdale in the sewer. The same ones. It looked like they pulled her over, but I'm not sure. Okay, y'all can hear now? Okay, yes, that's the friend right there. Well, duh. And they're searching her car, the FBI and Enterprise Police Department. Why, y'all, I really don't know. And I'm not trying to, spread no misinformation. So I don't know why they doing that to her. Oh, y'all. Okay, so that's Enterprise. Okay, so Coffee County just came. The sheriff. Nene, can you move my truck right?
No, they gonna win from that way to that way because they standing over there. Yeah. She always walk around with her up and down the hill. She dance for me. Oh yeah, they might be in there taking a shower. But the other lady said that she did see a shoe. But she did take all the shit over there and burn it.
I'm thinking.
And she cut all her hair.
She cut her hair.
No, that's good. The police denied.
Uh-huh.
The man said that I was bleach and damage with
Bleach. Hold on, bleach. You gonna bleach a 2-year-old hair?
No, not the baby.
Oh. Oh, got you.
It was breaking off, and she came close to the damage.
I gotta go down that way. I don't think she stabbed her, shot her. I think she beat her with the hammer. When I seen in her window, she was beating the baby on the wall with the hammer, literally, no count. And I knocked on her door, and I was like, "Nessa, you good?" She was like, "Yeah, I'm all right. I'm just going through it." But I ain't tell her that I had looked in her window and seen it, because the kids had told me that they seen her, and she popped her head back in the window at them, and they ran. So I went and looked in the window, and when I looked in the window, she had a black bald-headed baby doll with no fucking clothes on, beating the baby in the fucking head with
Oh,
the hammer, screaming
no.
at the top of her lungs. And I knocked on the door, and they were like, "Nessa, you okay? I hear you screaming." And she was like, "Yeah." But the whole time, bitch, I seen you in there beating the fucking baby. And the police asked me, did I hear?
It's just something you have to say to
Like,
protect
was she saying
yourself,
anything? I
Miss
said, no, she was
Hummingbird.
screaming at the top of her lungs, beating the baby doll in the head with the hammer. When I walked in, the hammer was on the floor, and the baby doll was on the floor. But everybody trying to blame us, talking about some Meadowbrook, this and that. Baby, if I tell y'all that my kids in Columbus, what y'all gonna think? That my kids are in Columbus, right? You're not gonna question a mama, bro. Come on, bro. What the hell? How can we know? We ain't doing. She acted normal as fuck, speaking to everybody in my house every day, literally for this whole month in my house, literally no cap. Coming up there 6 o'clock in the morning, as soon as I put my kids on the bus, take them to school. This whole month she been drinking every single day. I've been taking her to the liquor store every day to get a bottle, no cap. But I ain't think nothing. Like, I asked her again Friday when I had tried to make the Valentine's basket for Bum Bun. I asked her, I said, "You talked to Bum Bun?" And she was like, "No." I was like, "Oh, because I was going to make her a basket." She was like, "She ain't talked to her." She said, "She with her daddy. She good."
And daddy don't know that.
That was Friday?
No, that was Friday. Yeah.
Oh, they taking the tape down now.
Yeah, she told me Friday.
Yeah, Saturday she said she don't know.
And let me say that the one of the reasons why I thought of the Casey Anthony case. First, she said the father had him. This is the big mouth friend talking off camera. But then she said a friend named Mariah had the baby, and we found out that was not the truth. very reminiscent of Casey Anthony.
Daddy. But she been saying when the January 6th,
Corey Police Department.
from the break, the kids break, we came back January 6th. They said she was even gone for a whole week.
No, that's not what she. I'm lying. They talking about if you seen her beating the baby. You didn't say. She clearly said a baby doll.
What the hell?
Why didn't you call the cops?
Because I had to listen again harder.
And Miss Hummingbird, thank you for being a foster parent. We need more fosters. I've only had horrible ones, but thank you for your service, because kids like Genesis, a kid like me when I was a child, we need good foster care people. We need a better system, because the system is honestly broken.
I was like, girl, you ain't.
Then I heard doll, and I was like,
She had
okay,
a
that's why
black
you
bald-headed baby, and I'm just thinking like, damn, is you cool? I knocked on the door and was like, "That's you good?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm okay, baby. You just know I'm going through some stuff, and on the floor was the fucking hammer and the baby." But I ain't think nothing of it. Like, I'm like,
That's what I was thinking, Nikki. Somebody was saying, so she was beating the baby doll. I wonder if she was reacting to how she did to the baby. And that's what you said. She did it.
I said, I feel like she killed the baby with a hammer. Literally. I seen a hammer on the ground, bro. She was beating, literally. You can ask the other neighbor who stay her. She stay up under her. She be hearing her beat all night on that fucking wall, bro. No cap.
Right, Karaya, Gary.
Why they took the crime scene taken?
I guess since they did everything they needed down there.
They pulled the mattress up.
They pulled it out, but I don't think they like.
They all I seen put out the wire. Yeah, they didn't put it on the bed.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't put it on the.
The mattress you're speaking of actually came from the girl's apartment and had blood on it.
Bed on the truck. They just took pictures of it.
And they might have got some samples.
I think yeah, and yeah, that damn bleach she did. What she thought that was gonna cover? That ain't gonna cover nothing. That from what they got, nothing. We was right here. They put the rug in the truck right there with the blood.
And they said
was it the white pickup truck?
That black truck right there that just pulled off. They put the rug with the blood on it in there, right there when we were standing right here. And they had like a little box that had like some clothing in it that they brought out of there. Well, they leave.
That's it.
And they took the daddy that they took the daddy to go see.
Look at this. Hold on. Look at my nigga. He be on the phone with me, bro. Look what he just said. Man, babe, I ain't gonna count. She showed all the signs she was dead ass going through it. That's why I kept her around me so much, y'all, because I was trying to, make sure her mental be straight, bro. Like, I felt like she was just going through that because the baby, wasn't there. You ain't used to your baby being gone, bro. So I thought that's why she was digging out, bro. I would never, anytime she ever done told me that the baby been with the daddy and shit, she always come back. So I didn't think nothing of it. And me knowing what you going through, you really are going through some.
And unalive is something you brought into this world will never sit right with me. I know being a mama can get overwhelming. I know being a mama can be a lot. And I know doing it on your own can break you down in the toughest ways possible. But to unalive your child and sit on it for months and months and months and try to think of a way that you can cover it up, that you won't go to jail, it's wild to me. I know for a fact, y'all remember her who came out in February and said that her daughter right here was missing. Said she woke up and her front door was open. Her daughter was nowhere to be found. She even made up this lady, a character, and said the baby might be with her. Police done did their investigation and they done did their work and they done found out what the clues they done came up with, that this lady had unalived her baby Christmas night. They got surveillance from the neighbor's camera that she walked to the dumpster and threw away a duffel bag. And then right after that, she went back to that same dumpster and threw away toys, which was her daughter's toys. Why would you be throwing away toys if your daughter is in the house? I throw away toys too, but why would you be throwing away toys if you just threw away a duffel bag and then you threw away all her toys, like you erasing her out of your memory or something? Kind of find out this lady done threw her baby in the dumpster, unalived her, and then waited till February 16th to say that her daughter was missing because she thought she had got away with unaliving her daughter. This is crazy to me. And the fact that she sat on the information thinking she, covering up her tracks whole time, everybody looking for her daughter, and she knew for a fact what she had done did to her baby is sick. And it's just like, give your kids up for adoption. If you that overwhelmed, give them up. This is crazy. Did y'all see this update? Let's talk about this in the comments.
This is the Casey Anthony case all over again. And that shows to be a bloody bed right there. But let's start from the beginning. In mid-February 2026, a quiet apartment community in Enterprise, Alabama, became the center of a case that would turn really, really disturbing. 2-year-old Genesis Nova Reid, a toddler described by family as joyful, playful, and always smiling, was suddenly reported missing in the early hours of February 16, 2026. According to her mother, Adrienne Reid, she woke up around 3 a.m. Genesis was gone from her bed and the front door of their home was open. So she made a call to 911 and that launched a massive search. Local police, state agencies, the FBI, and U.S. Marshals quickly became involved. So at first, Genesis' mom, Adrienne, her story seemed straightforward. Her toddler vanished overnight from her own bed. Okay, and she called 911. However, police find out a bunch of other things. As detectives interviewed neighbors and witnesses, multiple people in the apartment complex made the very same claim. They said that they had not seen Genesis in weeks. Some neighbors even said she had stopped taking her usual neighborhood walks with her mother, and others stated that they had not seen her since around Christmas time. One neighbor even noted that Genesis had stopped playing with the other children earlier in the year. So obviously now that timeline raised a lot of serious red flags. If Genesis had not been seen for weeks, then the idea that she disappeared suddenly overnight became a lot harder to believe. Then detectives began to notice a lot of inconsistencies in Genesis' mother's statements. Police said that the deeper they looked into the report, the more details didn't align well. So they looked even further into the case. At this point, she's a suspect. Then the case took a major turn when Adrienne was arrested and charged with false reporting to law enforcement after authorities concluded the key parts of her story did not add up. And it turns out that she too had not seen Genesis in a month and she just failed to report it. Is that starting to sound familiar to you? Despite extensive searches, including the use of cadaver dogs and multi-agency resources, authorities reported that no physical evidence leading to Genesis' whereabouts had been discovered. However, on TikTok, there were these searchers. They went into the woods and they found a bloody bed in the middle of the woods. I don't know if that could be a clue. The public doesn't know at the moment. And this was around the area she lived. And then Adrienne, the mom, mentions to the cops about a woman named Mariah who supposedly knows where Genesis is. But right now, this is looking like the Casey Anthony case. Meanwhile, across parts of Southeast Alabama, homes and neighborhoods began glowing pink in honor of Genesis, symbolizing prayers, unity, and heartbreak for a missing toddler. Family members publicly pleaded for help. They emphasized that Genesis would never have willingly left, urging anyone with information to come forward. Right? I mean, that's just really strange for a 2-year-old to just get out of bed and just leave. Genesis' birthday is coming up in March. She was last seen wearing pink Minnie Mouse pajamas. Her mother remained in custody with a $1 million bond, and officials noted concerns that she could be a flight risk if released. If you have any information, please contact 334-347-2222 or just call 911. Stay safe out there, you guys. I hope they find you, Genesis.
Can y'all seriously believe that Genesis Reid's mother has hired one of the top performing attorneys in our area and that she wants her bond lowered? The absolute nerve. If she wants her bond lowered, then she needs to speak up. So in case you don't know, Genesis Reid, pictured here on the right, is the 2-year-old toddler who is missing out of the town I live in, Enterprise, Alabama. Her mom is Adrienne Reid, pictured here on the left, and she reported her daughter missing over a week ago, claiming that the door to their apartment was open and that she just mysteriously...
Because a lot of this we already heard. I just wanted to bring, hold on, things that maybe
is
I
missing
haven't
out of
seen.
Alabama, and all of the fingers are pointing directly towards mom, even though mom was the one that reported her missing yesterday, saying that she went to her bedroom and she had vanished and her door was wide open. But the dad and the neighbors are saying that that is absolutely not correct and giving a lot of details that leads people to believe that the mom had something to do with this child going missing. And on top of that, there's already been allegedly something found around the apartments that leads people to believe that this is not going to end well. One of the neighbors even went on Facebook Live, and let me tell you, I have some of the screen recordings, and it is wild. And I myself believe that the math is not mathing on what this mom is telling police. Now, according to neighbors, this is the grandma, this is the uncle, and this guy right here is the father. And allegedly, according to this Facebook Live and the neighbors, the mom had texted the dad on February 4th saying that she was going to be filing a missing persons report on their daughter. This missing persons report was not filed until yesterday, saying that she vanished from her room overnight. Neighbors are also saying that they have not seen the little girl Genesis since January, potentially even December, saying that one of the neighbors was walking through the grocery store, saw the mom, asked where she was, and the mom said, and I quote, "I don't know." That was on Valentine's Day, the 14th. Another neighbor said that she used to walk Genesis all the time and she used to play with this neighbor's child, but the mom has not been walking with her, nor has she played with her children in quite some time. The page Vibe Moments and More are where a lot of these Facebook Live recordings have come from and this alleged evidence. Because according to neighbors, someone took this picture saying the mattress that was found in the woods, and I don't even know to tell you what that looks like. Part 2, I'm going to play you some of this Facebook Live video footage so we can hear directly from the neighbors what is going on.
Genesis Reid, mother, throwed her in the trash on Christmas.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day. And later on, a witness also saw her go back to the dumpster, because that's what she put her child in a dumpster, like she was trash. And a witness saw her go back to throw the toys away and all her bed, all that. You throwed your own child away like she was trash. We just saw another, mother, children in a suitcase.
Mm-hmm.
Placed in a suitcase, tossed on just side the road or wherever they found the bushes. A man walking and him and his dog found them. What is going on? Our children like they under some type of attack, but attacked by their own parents. How could you do that? A mother's supposed to love their children. We will go to hell and back for our children. And you starting to see this every week. This the pattern. She didn't have to do that to that little girl. You can't say she didn't have a choice. The state will take them. That might not be the best place for them, but at least they will be alive.
That part.
You didn't have to do that. It just don't. Now it's going to take them 10 weeks, they said, to go through all this trash to look for a baby that's been thrown away like she's trash. A human being, a life. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? How bad that is? And then they got to go to court. She's still living for years and years and years and years, and her baby gone. I be feeling like what y'all do to others and children, innocent children, should be done to y'all. Absolutely. And I have a heart. But this here, I just can't, I will never respect and understand. Because if you didn't want them, you should have kept your legs closed. Or go give them to somebody. Do something. But just to throw that baby in the trash, like she was trash, I don't know respect for that. Hugs and love. Y'all be blessed to J-Lo.
Okay, so y'all real quick. 9 years ago, Adrienne Reid, the mother of Genesis Reid, the 2-year-old girl that went missing in Enterprise, Alabama, Adrienne pled guilty to cutting her mom multiple times with a sharp object. They did not specify what she cut her with, but you got to look at the nature of everything surrounding this case. You got to look at her temperament, and that it is so easily for you to cause somebody else bodily harm, especially somebody close to you. Your mom, you cut your own mom with a sharp object. Potentially, you could have even killed this lady. You could have killed your mom. So you got to look at everything for what it is surrounding this case, and every little piece fits in like a puzzle. Now, they use cadaver dogs today in search of Genesis. Nothing turned up, but they are still searching. So when y'all see these videos, please like, share, comment on these videos, because we are trying to really bring this baby home safely, if not safely. And I hate to say this, but give her a proper burial. So when you see these videos, please like, share, comment on these videos, post these videos, repost these videos, put these videos out there to the public.
Searching. I know the Coffee County Sheriff's Office came as well, and we started reaching out to other partners at that time. During the morning hours, we completed a number of searches of the area in close proximity to the residents here. We are starting to figure out and trying to clear up some stuff from the public. We had requested the public pass on any information if they had seen Genesis in the past 30 days. We're trying to get a timeline and would appreciate that information. We haven't necessarily stated that Genesis has been missing for 30 days, but that's what we're asking everybody is to provide that information. Again, the mother stated that when she woke up this morning at 3 a.m., that's when she noted the child was missing. We have not stopped since 3 a.m. this morning. All of our partners has helped, District Attorney's Office, Aaliyah.
So I pretty much wanted you to get most of the backstory. You guys, no, still haven't found her, but they say, they're searching the landfill because that's where the baby allegedly was. She was caught on camera discarding the baby. Now, I have not seen that footage as of yet, but I'm sure it will eventually come out. I just wanted y'all to see some of the backstories, what some other people were saying that lived around her, how she was seen. Someone was looking through the window and she was beating a doll baby in the head with a hammer, the discarded bed. Like, a lot of information came from these neighbors because this baby was considered the complex baby. Like, everybody loved on Genesis. Everybody, oh Lord, adored Genesis. Let me finish playing this so I can see what's going on.
We have federal partners here as well. The FBI and the U.S. Marshal Service have both come today and tried to offer their assistance. We are trying to leave no stone unturned. Unfortunately, we all want results now, but it does take time to get these things. We will keep working as best we can, and we want nothing more than to find Genesis unharmed. But we are going to make requests from the public, and we are going to lean on the media and the public fairly hard in order to try and obtain this information. Okay?
I'm just going to reiterate what Captain Hagelin said. The number one focus here is to find Genesis. I know it's been reported, and I've seen Facebook commentary about things going on. Obviously, we can't comment on all those things right now. There is an investigation that's going on, but the most important piece of that investigation is trying to find Genesis alive and well and bringing her home to her family. So we're asking the public and the media to please get this message out. Share the poster that got put out on Facebook this morning with her picture. And if you know anything, don't hesitate, like that alert said that went out to our immediate area, to please contact Enterprise Dispatch and share that information so that police can track it down. It's important, though, they don't need spam calls. They need hard, concrete information so that the officers that we have on scene can do their job and not get flooded with stuff that's not relevant to what's going on here, which is the search and investigation into this matter.
So we provided deputies on scene at the time. We had canines on the ground. and we will continue. So yes, just reach out to the public. If they got any information to help us, we're reaching out to you guys to try to get some more answers. And we thank you for what y'all have done so far. The community's come out, supported us 110%, and we thank y'all for that.
Just the same thing the sheriff and the district attorney has said. Any information that's available, obviously, that needs to be.
Let's go ahead and start. First tonight, horrifying new details in the death of a missing Enterprise toddler. Jail records show her mother, Adrienne Reid, is now charged with capital murder and abuse of a corpse.
Officials say the 2-year-old was reported missing from her home last month. In a press conference, police say it appears she was killed on Christmas Day. Our Claudia Nichols has your late reporting.
Claudia, investigators say they uncovered some critical new evidence.
That's right, Lenise and Cameron. Police say a neighbor's camera captured video they believe is the break in this case. This tragedy has shaken the Coffee County community as neighbors held on to hope for weeks for the little girl's safe return. And tonight, some of the new details in this investigation are extremely disturbing.
We have reached the heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Genesis and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster.
Tonight, heartbreaking grief gripped the Wiregrass region. At a press conference this afternoon, Enterprise Police Chief Michael Moore delivered devastating news. He says Genesis Reid, the 2-year-old reported missing on February 16th, is now believed to have been murdered by her own mother, Adrienne Reid, on Christmas Day.
Detectives obtained camera footage from a neighboring resident showing Adrienne walking toward the apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag at approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas night.
Moore says video footage from 2 days later shows Adrienne returning to that same dumpster, this time with toys and other belongings believed to be Genesis's. Adrienne is now charged with capital murder and corpse abuse. She's already faced charges for making false statements to officers when reporting her daughter missing from their home on February 16th, more than a month after the alleged murder. During the investigation, the community came together, holding a candlelight vigil and hoping for Genesis' safe return. Authorities say her body has not been found, but Coffee County Sheriff Scott Bird says they're planning a massive search of the landfill where investigators believe her remains may be. Bird says multiple agencies will assist, using specialized equipment to search the area.
This search is going.
I muted it there because I am going to go into the press conference. Jasmine, thank you so much. I appreciate you, boo. Thank you. Alan, there's just some sick people in this world. There's some sick people in this world, and I do believe she suffered with some sort of mental health disorder. I don't know. But authorities have now charged Genesis Reid's mother with capital murder. That is one of the most serious charges someone can face under Alabama law. Capital murder charges typically mean prosecutors believe the unaliving involves certain aggravating circumstances. One of those circumstances is the death of a child. These cases are prosecuted aggressively and can involve extremely severe penalties if someone is convicted. But the charges themselves also signal something else. Investigators believe they have enough evidence to show that this was not an accident. It was not an accident. And that's where the landfill search becomes incredibly important. And it's just so sad. We're going to end it showing the whole press conference, but I'm about to stream the press conference. One of the most disturbing elements in this case is the fact that they have to search a landfill, that she hurt this baby and then threw her away like she was trash. And you guys, I don't know if you ever thought about how landfill searches work in criminal investigations. It's actually a very complex process. you're looking for a needle in a haystack. You have to trace garbage routes, and because they do have specific areas where certain routes are dumped. And then they have to pick through it piece by piece. So let's go into the law and crime portion where they are breaking down the
Scan the QR code and use promo
report.
code OTC to get an extra 25 cents bonus. A 2-year-old girl is reported missing in Alabama, leading to an intense, weeks-long manhunt.
This investigation involved approximately 8,000 combined working hours, with personnel often working 16 to 18 hours per day.
And this week, a devastating breakthrough.
The evidence shows that Adrian Reid killed the 2-year-old daughter. She literally threw her in the trash.
As the young girl's mom remains behind bars, investigators continue to piece together what went wrong.
And then she engaged in a 53-day-long campaign of deceit, lies, manipulation, and as previously stated, destruction of evidence, before she finally made her false report on February 16th.
We're on the case presented by Law and Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. Hey guys, real quick, I want to tell you about this app that you're really going to love. It's called Upside. It gets you cash back. We're talking extra cash back, real money on everyday purchases like gas, groceries, and takeout. So here's what you do. You download Upside. It's free. Then you claim an offer at one of their 100,000 plus locations. And then you pay like you typically would with your back. Click the link in the description. In jail when these charges came through on Monday, but it was for a different reason. And when you look at Enterprise, Alabama is now charged with capital murder and abuse of a corpse in the death of her own 2-year-old daughter, Genesis Reid. She was reported missing back in February. Now, Adrian Reid was already in jail when these charges came through on Monday, but it was for a different reason. And when you look at how things turned out so far, it just makes the situation look that much worse for the 33-year-old mom. And there's still missing pieces to the puzzle here. Will an alleged motive ever come to light? Genesis is still missing. Will we ever find her body? And why did it take weeks for her disappearance to reach the attention of law enforcement?
She died Christmas Day.
Let's break down what we know thus far. This case began back on February 16th.
What? This just gave me a flashback though. What can a child do on Christmas Day to deserve this? And when I was asking myself that question before I asked y'all, something flashed back in my brain about an incident that took place on a Christmas Day. It wasn't me that was getting hurt. It was my little brother. And my father was angry that my brother didn't wake up in a better mood. He woke up grumpy and didn't really want anything to do with Christmas. And I'm trying to remember, he was a little boy. I think he was still like in pull-ups or something. And the way my father beat on him because he felt like my little brother wasn't grateful for what he received. Hey, Shaker. It was terrifying. And he was only like 2 or 3 years old. My father would be easily triggered by anything. So just because my brother woke up in a bad mood, it triggered him to relentlessly beat him. So it can happen. It's sad, but it can happen.
Police in Enterprise, Alabama received a chilling report.
Adrian Reid reported her child missing at 3:10 a.m., stating that Genesis walked out the front door.
As horrible as it sounds, this type of situation could happen to anyone. A small child gaining access to an unlocked door and then wandering off in a matter of seconds. But in this particular case, police were suspicious right off the bat.
A thorough precursor search of the area did not result in any helpful leads of where Genesis had gone, and inconsistencies in Adrian's story resulted in more intense investigation. The father of Genesis, grandmother, other family members, and those that knew Genesis were contacted through the investigation and had been very cooperative with law enforcement. Mariah, a person of interest, but not a suspect, was generated through Adrian, who gave very little to no assistance in how to contact Mariah.
In a missing persons case, especially involving a young child, it is natural for investigators to speak with family members. And while most of them were reportedly cooperative with the situation, the police said that Adrian had inconsistencies in her story, and she gave a lead to a suspect with no way to contact them.
Although we are still investigating the whereabouts of Genesis, we are confident that Adrian made a false report that Genesis walked out of his apartment at 3 a.m. in the morning. Through the investigation, there's enough probable cause that has led to the arrest of Adrian. Adrian Reid has been charged with false reporting to local law enforcement authorities, a Class C felony due to the report alleging imminent danger to a person.
A day after Adrian reports her daughter missing, she is arrested and booked into the Coffee County Jail on a false reporting charge with an allegation of imminent injury to a person. And at this point, police say Adrian has become a primary suspect in the 2-year-old's disappearance, but no additional charges were filed at that time. So 2 days after that report comes in, we're at February 18th, Adrian made her first appearance in court.
During the hearing, Judge Wilson heard testimony from an Enterprise Police Department detective regarding facts and circumstances related to the current investigation into the disappearance of Genesis Reid. Based on the testimony, the state argued that Adrian Reid is the only known suspect in the disappearance of Genesis Reid. Adrian Reid has hidden and or destroyed evidence relevant to this case, and Adrian Reid is a flight risk should she be released from custody. The standard bond schedule for a Class C felony in Alabama is $2,500 to $15,000. The state argued that the bond schedule amounts in this matter for a Class C felony are wholly unreasonable. We asked for a $1 million cash-only bond.
The judge grants the prosecutor's request, and Adrian is held in jail on a $1 million cash-only bond. That is a massive amount of money for a Class C felony in Alabama. But like the prosecutor said, when you look at the circumstances in this case, there's no one else investigators are looking at when it comes to the disappearance of Genesis. And there is still a lot to uncover, including when Genesis actually disappeared.
We are specifically requesting that anyone who had any type of personal relationship or social interaction with Adrian Reid between December 24th, 2025 and February 16th, 2026, please come forward.
Remember, Genesis was reported missing on February 16th, but now police are asking for information spanning back to December. According to a Facebook post from the Enterprise Police Department, quote, as the investigation progressed, detectives conducted multiple interviews and determined the child had not been seen in several weeks. Now, at this point, the situation is becoming even more critical. When Adrian originally reported her daughter missing, she allegedly vanished that same morning. But it's now alleged by police that Genesis could have been missing for a month and a half. And that is a much larger window of time and one that could severely impact this investigation.
Please know that we continue to investigate every lead and pursue every possible avenue in our efforts to bring resolution to this case. This includes ongoing witness interviews as well as detailed analysis of electronic devices and surveillance footage. Our commitment to locating Genesis and bring her home remains unwavering. If you have any information about Genesis or you have Genesis, now's the time to come forward. Our investigators are methodically reviewing every lead. If you're involved in this case and choose not to come forward, be assured that we will identify you and pursue prosecution to the fullest extent of the law.
The search for 2-year-old Genesis continued for several weeks with the assistance of multiple agencies, including the FBI, the U.S. Marshals, Alabama Law Enforcement Agency, and even neighboring states. And despite the massive search effort, she was still nowhere to be found. But on Monday, which, by the way, was Genesis's 3rd birthday, police held a news conference and announced a major breakthrough in this case.
March 9th, 2026, Adrian Reid, the mother of Genesis Reid, had been formally charged with capital murder for the killing of a child under the age of 14 and abuse of a corpse.
In some ways, you could describe this part of the investigation as bittersweet from law enforcement, because it is safe to say in a case like this, the hope is that Genesis would be found alive. But when you factor in her mom's arrest, the alleged disappearance timeline spanning back further than anticipated, and a large-scale search with no results, Genesis's death was an unfortunate possibility. So, how did law enforcement reach this conclusion? The Enterprise Police Chief shared the chilling details.
As investigators continued to follow leads and interview witnesses, information emerged indicating that Genesis had not been seen with Adrian since Christmas Day. Through the careful, methodical work of investigators, we have reached the heartbreaking and horrific conclusion that her mother, her caretaker, the one that should have been there to keep her safe, willfully murdered Genesis and placed her in a duffel bag and discarded her in a dumpster. Today, March 9th, 2026, Adrian Reid, the mother of Genesis Reid, had been formally charged with capital murder for the killing of a child under the age of 14 and abuse of a corpse. The last confirmed contact with family members occurred on December 25th, when Genesis visited relatives in Dothan for the Christmas holiday. That evening, she was returned to her residence in Enterprise with her mother. During the investigations, detectives obtained camera footage from a neighboring residence showing Adrian walking toward the apartment complex dumpster with a rolling duffel bag at approximately 11:30 p.m. on Christmas night. 2 days later, additional footage captured Adrian returning to the dumpster area carrying toys and other belongings belonging to Genesis.
Now, the allegations in this case that we've just learned this week, they're horrific. An alleged murder on Christmas night of a 2-year-old child reportedly thrown in a dumpster by her own mom. And that same mom then reports her missing nearly 7 weeks later. It's hard to imagine. But remember, Adrian Reid is presumed innocent until guilty. And there is a big piece of the puzzle still missing.
The investigation is far from over. Our focus now turns to bringing Genesis home to the community that loved her. The search and rescue process will be long and difficult, but our resolve remains unwavering. We will continue working until Genesis is brought home.
This landfill is over 100 acres of working space, but that does not deter us in any form or fashion. So as the investigation continued, we can proudly say that we narrowed it down between 200 and 100 feet square. I want to ask the public to keep praying for us. This is going to take a while. I'm going to ask you for your patience. We are determined to find her.
According to Coffee County Sheriff Scott Bird, the excavation process in the Coffee County landfill will begin this week with assistance from experts in Atlanta. But Bird said the search could take up to 10 weeks or more, especially given the nature of how many times the alleged duffel bag carrying Genesis's body was compacted before it reached the landfill. Now, finding Genesis's remains, it is important because it gives investigators a better understanding, potentially, of how she died, when she died, and above all, it gives that confirmation that she did die beyond circumstantial evidence in this case. So we're going to continue monitoring this search for Genesis closely, and we'll give you the latest information when it comes in. But in the meantime, when it comes to the legal process for Adrian Reid, she is due for an initial appearance later in the week on her new felony charges, capital murder and abuse of a corpse. And at that hearing, she is also expected to be held without bond. During this week's news conference, Coffee County District Attorney James Tarbox also spoke on the potential punishment that this 33-year-old mom could face.
Under Alabama law, if we are successful in our prosecution for capital murder and Adrian Reid is convicted, there are 2 possible punishments for a jury to decide: life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. During the court proceedings of this case, our office will have to formally elect whether we are seeking the death penalty. I am committed at that time to fully evaluating the case file and evidence before making a final decision on the death penalty. However, I am formally announcing today that based upon everything I know at this point about this case, this is having been with our officers, our deputies, and our agents for most of this investigation, day in and day out since February 16th, Our office will be seeking the death penalty in this case. The evidence shows that Adrienne Reid killed her 2-year-old daughter. She literally threw her in the trash. And then she engaged in a 53-day-long campaign of deceit, lies, manipulation, and, as previously stated, destruction of evidence before she finally made her false report on February 16th. Her conduct speaks for itself, and I believe this preliminary decision to seek the death penalty conforms to our community's beliefs about this case and our shared values about how we value and seek to protect the most innocent among us, our children.
So the Coffee County District Attorney says that he plans to pursue the death penalty against Adrienne Reid, although it appears the decision is not legally set in stone just yet. It's important to remember with death penalty cases, a conviction does not automatically mean the death sentence. And in Alabama and most other jurisdictions, the trial is separated into a guilt phase, and then you have the penalty phase. A jury will first have to determine if the defendant is guilty of capital murder. Then the jury will be presented additional evidence in a separate proceeding before deciding if the defendant will receive life in prison without parole or whether they will be put to death. We're going to continue monitoring Adrienne's upcoming hearing for more updates.
Let me say this, because I used to be very much for capital punishment. But then I thought, like, they're getting an easy way out if they actually go through the whole process where you are charged and you've been given a date. And then you're just gone. I'd rather you serve the rest of your life as miserable as possible in jail. They should have like a part of prison where it's the death penalty, but a life death penalty. I know that doesn't make sense because if she goes in the general population, she's going to be in an okay life. She'll be able to buy a TV, a microwave, a laptop, not a laptop, a tablet. She'll be able to listen to music. She'll be able to breathe air. I want her to breathe the worst air possible. I want her locked down for, 24 hours out the whole day. Like, she can't come out at all. She got to wash with the water hose in her cell. I want her life to be miserable. I want her to be beat on every single day. Like, let me get back on track. Sorry. Kind of went off a little bit. Ignore what I just said. People should be celebrating this baby's birthday, but instead we are celebrating her short life in a going service. Cases involving children affect communities in a way that few other crimes do. You see how quickly I was affected. I mean, they're babies. They're innocent. They didn't ask to be here. Children rely entirely on the adults around them to protect them, to feed them, to care for them, to keep them safe. Something Adrienne didn't do. So when a child disappears, and especially when investigators believe someone close to them may be responsible, the emotional reaction from the community is overwhelming. It really is overwhelming. And I get a little choked up talking about these things. I guess it's because I have 4 daughters, a bonus daughter, and I have 13 grandbabies. So this gets to me. People want justice. People want answers. I'm not going to tell you what I want. And people want to know how something like this could happen. I don't even... At the end of the day, this case is a reminder of something that should never be forgotten. Children depend on the adults in their lives to protect them, to love them, keep them safe. Genesis Reid should still be here. Genesis Nova Reid should still be here. She should be playing, laughing, growing up. But instead, investigators are preparing to search through mountains of trash, hoping to bring this child home. And that really is heartbreaking, as it is disturbing. Every child deserves love, and every child deserves justice. So justice for Genesis Reid. Please make sure you like, comment, because I do engage with my people. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Set it to all so you'll be notified anytime I go live, upload, or premiere. Please be kind to one another. And again, justice for Genesis Nova Reid. Good night.
No need to see viral stories and crime stories so bleak, leaving you hooked for weeks, exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals all exposed to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell so right. The minor key rings, it rules the game. Become a member, don't be late. Every story I claim the frame. Truth and fire is my name. Exposing liars and racists too. Crimes and scandals I'll expose to you. My creativity paints the view, pull you in like the morning dew. My voice will ring through your soul tonight, forever echo in your mind's sight. Like and share if you feel the light. Subscribe and hit the bell.